very happy and excited because we have Marisa Peer, the #1 and the greatest hypnotherapist of the world, and I am feeling so excited to have you here, Marisa.
Well, thank you. I'm
Welcome.
so excited to be here.
So let's talk about the power of the mind and the relationship with success. Why some people find difficult to have success?
You know, I think a lot of us are scared of success because we're scared of change. So you might know that 70% of lottery winners are completely broke within 3 years. Why is that? Because human beings are wired to fear what's new, what's different. Our brain likes what we know. What was familiar kept us safe, and what was unfamiliar could be very scary. So let's say you live in your community with your friends, and the belief is if I make lots of money, people won't like me. If I'm more successful than my friends, people won't like me. We see that in school when the child who's very clever, the other kids tease them. The child who's very gifted, they often are alone. And so it's a fear of being different. We have to remember in primitive times we bonded by being the same. I was just like you were just like me, we came from the same tribe, we did the same thing. And so it's a fear of being different. We call it the tall poppy syndrome, a fear of not fitting in, but also a fear of failure, a huge fear of if I write a book and put my heart into this book, and you hate it, if I open a business and no one comes, if I, put myself out there and try something and it doesn't work, that can feel so personal. So often we feel safer staying where we are, work for someone else, it's very steady. So it's all fear-based.
And for example, you've been working with a lot of famous people, successful people, and what do you think that they have in common? What do they do, all of them, that help them to achieve success? It's very different from the other people that doesn't achieve.
A lot of successful people have a fear of not being enough. On my bracelet that I'm enough, and I started the I'm Enough movement years ago because I realized that almost all my clients, at least half of them, probably more, had the same bit: I'm not enough, I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm not interesting enough, I'm not attractive enough, not worthy enough. And if inside you feel not enough, that often is a driver. I'm not enough, but I'll become famous, I'll become rich, I'll become successful. And it's a good driver because it pushes you to do the things you don't want to do. The thing is that when you get the success, the fame, the wealth, the success, you still don't feel enough because you think, oh, but now you like this lifestyle, this money, this job, this body, this talent. And so people are often driven for that, but then they still don't feel enough. So many of my clients will come in and say, I just wanted to be famous, and now I'm famous. There's always somebody younger coming up, so you may be a famous actor, famous model, famous sportsman, but it's very fleeting. There's always somebody younger, taller, coming up behind you. So the first fear is I'm not enough. I need to make it. But even when you make it, there's always the fear of how can I keep this? Let's say you wrote a book and it was the bestseller that year. Doesn't mean the book you write the next 2 years will still be a bestseller. So it's a competition. It's a race. And once you enter that race, there's no finishing line. So you get in a race to be the best. But as you race towards that finishing line, it moves and it moves and it moves. And you can't win that race because you can never ever complete it. So it's very challenging for a lot of people who want to be the best, when it's actually better to be amongst the best. It's a much kinder race.
So you already teach how people can change that belief from I am not enough to I am enough.
Yeah.
So what is the easiest way to do it? What is the best way to do it so we can make the fast transition from one belief to the other belief?
So it's a bit like a ladder. First you think a thought, and then you feel a feeling, and then you have a behavior. So the thought comes first, then the feeling, then the behavior. So let's imagine your thought is I'm not enough. It makes you feel sad and defeated and uneasy and anxious. And it makes you behave in a way that goes with feeling anxious and uneasy. So you've got to start to say I'm enough. If you change that thought from I'm not enough to I am enough, you feel better, you feel confident, you feel reassured, and you behave better. So whatever your thought is, you've got to just switch it. I'm not enough, I am enough. I can't remember anything, I've got an amazing memory. I get fat easily, I've got a fast metabolism, I'm always sick, I have an amazing immune system. It doesn't even matter if it's true or not, because your mind is always trying to make your thoughts real. So look at your thoughts, look at your negative thoughts. I'm always late, I never finish things, I'm not good at talking to people, and just change the thought. People say, it isn't true, but it doesn't matter. When you say, I can't remember a thing, that isn't true. I can gain weight just looking at a cake, that can't be true. When you think that thought, your mind works to make it true. So notice your thoughts and just start to change them. So if your thought is, I'm anxious or nervous, change that to I'm excited. I can't remember things, I always remember what I need to say. Just flip it over, find the opposite, start to repeat it, because your mind will start to make your thoughts real. Your mind doesn't know, and it really doesn't care what you tell it is good or bad, true or false, useful or not useful at all. It still starts to make it real.
And that is a good part that I want to emphasize. There are some people that find difficult to find the opposite. For example, oh, I am anxious. Oh, what would you like instead? I don't know, just feeling good, but they don't know exactly what is the opposite part of that. So how do you work on that?
But you know, there's always an opposite. I'm nervous. What's the opposite of nervous? I'm calm. What's the opposite of anxious? I guess it would be I'm calm. I'm at ease, I'm at peace. But a lot of people who are anxious, they go, I'm always anxious. I'm always worried. So, and that's not true. No one is always anxious. You're not always anxious when you're sleeping or having a bath or having dinner with your family or having sex with your partner or stroking your pet. So really pay attention, and even if you think there isn't an opposite, go into Google and ask, what's the opposite of anxious? What's the opposite of stress? What's the opposite of nervous or jittery? There's always an opposite. And it doesn't have to be the exact opposite. But take away the always and just find the opposite. So the opposite of I'm always sick would be I've got a really strong immune system. The opposite of I'm always late is I always get to places on time. The opposite of I forget everything would be I have an amazing memory. Find the opposite, and if you don't know it, Google it, because it will tell you what's the opposite word. And then start to say that, even if you don't believe it.
That is really great to know, because there are a lot of people that they don't know exactly what is the opposite of what the problem.
That's what the internet will always tell you.
Yeah, and you've been working with a lot of successful people, and some people that believe that I have to reach the peak of the mountain and then I'm going to be successful because they believe that that person is not going to have any problem at all.
Yeah.
They are going to be like happy forever.
Yeah.
But it's not true.
No, you know, success is not never failing. The mark of success is how fast you get back up. Every person who's been successful has failed and failed and failed again and failed on their way to success. After all, Harry Potter, you know, that was rejected so many times. But it's the mark of success is when you get rejected, do you get back up? I always call it being like a big rubber ball. Have you got the bounce back factor? The most famous actors have been rejected. The most famous movie stars have been rejected. The most famous have been fired and dumped and told they would never make it. But the question is, when someone says that, do you give up or do you keep going? Because everyone you meet who's successful will say, well, I was rejected, I was told I wasn't good enough. Even Eminem was rejected so many times. Ed Sheeran, do you know who Ed Sheeran is? He was rejected so many times. He said, well, you've got red hair and white skin, you don't look like a pop star. But he came back, and it's, can you come back from a rejection? Because we all get rejected. The difference is, what do? Do you give up and go away because the rejection hurt you, or use it to become stronger?
And how do they work on themselves? Because they seems to have like some inner strength that actually they feel that they have the strength to pull from all the obstacles that they are going to face. So how do they train themselves? Because do they have therapists, coaching? What are the habits that they have? Because we believe that we all, when we think success, we have, if we do this, we are going to achieve that. But I think they do more than just maybe they have some therapists, coaches, or what do you think about that?
People who are successful do one thing very well. They praise themselves a lot. You see, people who have that feel, I'm going to do this, do you like me? Do you like it? Is it good enough? That someone at Ed Sheeran go, hey, I think my music is amazing, I like it, I'm writing it for me, I believe it's good. And so I think when you give someone else your power, like, hey, do you like this? Is it okay? You're giving all your power to someone else. But people who are successful say, I really believe in my product. I think it's amazing. I think I write great songs, I sing great songs, I play a great part. I've invented something amazing. And that's one of the tricks to power and success is believe in yourself. You know, the most important words you'll ever hear are the words you say to yourself. So you have to spend a bit of time telling yourself that what you're doing is good, even if the world doesn't believe you. You know, Roald Dahl, I mean, nobody really loved his books, but later he became incredibly successful. Well, at first we said they're silly, they're not interesting. Same thing with J.K. Rowling. They said, nobody's going to buy a book about a boy who's a wizard. How wrong were they? So again, it's that belief, it's that ability to say, I believe in my story. And J.K. Rowling, her books got rejected, and every time she got a new stamp on it, and she just posted it back again, because that's the mark of success. Keep going. The mark of not success is, I've sent this book to 3 publishers, don't like it, just going to give up. The successful people will come back and keep going.
That is very important. So how is the best way to praise yourself? Because maybe when you can say that something like, I am the best, but I am not saying that in a real way, so I don't change what I have to change in my strategy because I just think that I'm the best, I'm doing the best I can, but I don't change my strategy, and that's why I'm failing.
I think you should say, I have a gift and I've got something to offer the world, and I'm going to monetize my gift, because actually everyone does have a gift. Who would have thought 10 years ago that you could make money on YouTube to show people how to pluck their eyebrows, put on makeup? That was unheard of 20 years ago. You could be an influencer and make so much money from just having a gift, from styling your hair or creating a dance. But you see, that's the thing. It's not about have you got a degree and are you a genius, it's what are you good at? What makes your heart sing? What do you think you could share with the world? So instead of saying I'm the best, which you can argue against, because you may not be the best, you may be one of the best or amongst the best, do this, say I have a gift. I was born with a gift, and I'm using my gift, and I'm sharing that gift, and I'm monetizing. I'm here for a reason. And there's something I can do probably better than anyone else. I'm going to find out what it is, and I'm going to monetize it. Because that expression makes you think, well, what is my gift? And your gift lies directly behind, and it's connected to what you love to do. So think about what you love. I mean, there are lots of people on TikTok doing crazy dancing. People love it, doing all kinds of things that like artists, you know, great artists, they don't paint what you love, they paint what they love. And if they're very lucky, we love what they love and we buy it. So it's not about saying you're the best, because you can argue against that. It's about saying, what was I put on this planet to do? What's my gift? It's not the same as someone else's gift. What am I really good at? And could I monetize that? And the answer is probably yes, you could.
That is great to hear. That is great to know. And